All right, good evening. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. This is Hudson and Brand continuing the investigation. Um, Eyes for the Blind. I think this is part 4 of that. So, Ruben,
Aye.
evening, Monday, June 6th. Where are you? Dinner time.
Dinner time.
Oh,
If we have not caught up with the Golden Dawn, then it would be back home.
okay. Well, you want to arrange a meeting with somebody, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If it wasn't something that was an impromptu, sure, why not come on over right now? Then it would be later.
Mm-hmm. And let me see here. The person you wanted to see.
Dr. William Wynne Westcott.
Is that right? Yep, cool.
And Florence Farr.
Yep, Florence Farr and Dr. Wynne Westcott of the Golden Dawn. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so you got to send out basically probably a message or something to try to set up an appointment.
Right?
I assume you're not just going to find their address, go to their house, and knock on the door, or are you?
No, that's not the plan. Although I'm sure they would more than welcome my appearances thus.
Okay, so you go back to the house where James is already there, relaxing. Mr. James's last name is Chamberlain. Mr. Chamberlain, yes. And of course, Markham will be there. So put Markham back on the screen. In fact, I suppose where we were around the time I turned off the last broadcast. Okay. And Glenn, your introduction to the agency. How how do we plan to work that out? Just trying to think of.
Is he invited to it? Does he have a friend of the family? How's his connection?
Actually, this was what I just wanted to ask Paul what he thinks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Paul?
Yeah, I just sent you a private message regarding
Oh,
this.
did you? I can't.
Yeah.
There you go. I see it now. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. So Glenn, why don't you go ahead and just describe your character? And what happens is your father was a similar scientist, maybe not a mechanical engineer like yourself, but he did a lot of other sciences and stuff too. And he had been a um, consultant of the original Hudson and Brand agency. And so you were studying in America for a time and had come back to London, I believe, yeah, very recently.
Yeah, maybe I've been here for about a month.
And you're looking for some
Employment.
yes. So he would have been referred to the agency thusly. The agency basically being you at this point in time, Mr. Chamberlain and Mr. Carmichael Brand or Brand Carmichael? It was Brand Carmichael, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So you arrive at 33 Golden Square, which I know you and anybody who's watching this campaign is very familiar with already. Nice inquiry agency office. It's quite a large space in Soho. Very nice location. Very close to downtown, close to everything, really. You have basically your letter of introduction and of course your own cards of your introduction cards or whatever that you'd have printed up. And yeah, you arrive at the door a little before dinner time, conveniently. You ring the bell. I think they had bells. And Markham will answer. And say, "Good evening, sir."
Glenn looks up from a piece of paper and he goes, yes, this is the Hudson and Brand agency.
Indeed, it is, sir.
I was looking, would they be in? I was either looking for one of the owners or was told Mr. Markham.
Indeed, sir. Do you have a card?
Yeah, I hand them my card.
Yeah, which you were holding kind of underneath the paper, or whatever, awkwardly. You give him the card. He steps in, and at this point in time, conveniently, Reuben and James are both sitting in the parlor, which is just inside the front door. Very nice, strong, secure door. You see multiple locks. Markham walks in and says, uh, "Mr. Glenn Gray, to see you, sirs."
Assuming Markham has been around for a while now.
Oh yeah, Markham has been with the agency. I think the agency started in 1882 or 1881. I don't remember off the top of my head. Uh, Ruben might know. He's read all the case files as well. But I think it's like 10 years old now. This office.
Oh, okay. Then if my father probably worked for them, it might have been before they started an agency. Maybe worked for one of them. No, that would have been a. I'm guessing would have been a.
Well,
Well,
if that's
that's
the
it.
case, then let's make it. He was working for Brand, um, Ulysses Brand, who is Ruben's uncle. I know.
Would Markham have been with Mr. Brand before?
Oh yeah. Well, wait. With Mr. Brand before Hudson and Brand.
Yes.
What's your luck?
My luck is 45.
Give me a roll.
Oh, right. We need those dice things.
Yeah, I just realized that as well.
That looks like a 10. And I'll use that one for now. 63.
Okay. No, he was not. He does not know your father.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
But your letter of introduction is directly written to Reuben Brand Carmichael because he is the heir. So okay. So the whole thing has been very awkward. Markham is
Yep.
waiting for this young man to walk into the house. I imagine so are James and Reuben.
Yeah, he steps in. He ducks a little. He is, well, it depends how tall is the doorway.
Well, it's tall enough. Loyal got in. I mean,
Well, I probably ducked.
the doorway is probably 7 foot.
Okay, then he still ducks even though he misses it by a bit. He's used to maybe lower doors. He's just out of habit.
Okay. So
He is a large individual, nowhere near as big as Loyal was, but he's probably about he's over 6 feet tall, maybe 6.5, pushing it a bit, and broad shoulders. Looks like he's no stranger to manual labor, and he's wearing just common clothes, like not maybe common labor clothing, but I guess he's middle class. So no, he's probably wearing a nice clothing then with a jacket and everything, and
sure.
we'll say maybe a hat. And he takes off his hat and does a slight bow.
Evening, sir. You find us ready for dinner.
Oh, sorry. I could come back another time. I didn't mean to intrude.
No, not at all. Markham, we have enough guests.
Indeed, sir. We have plenty. We're still waiting for Mr. Tillman to return as well. And I assume Loyal will be around shortly. I have made a double portion for him. It should tide him over for a few hours.
Very well. How can we help you, sir?
Markham closes the door and locks it out of habit. And you actually probably see he picks up a shotgun that was leaning up against it and carries it with him to the kitchen.
Actually, would I be able to identify just out of
Identify what?
The shotgun? Just what make it is?
Oh Jesus! Yeah. Go ahead and make a roll while I try to look that up.
4.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of roll I'm making, but that might do it.
That will do it. Let me find Hudson and Brand. 1 second. I didn't have that book open. I haven't opened that book in a while. All right. It has nice handy bookmarks. We're looking for the contents of the gun cabinet. Here we go. Boom. Where's the shotgun? Is that the one? Yep. It is a Spencer repeating shotgun.
Is that a good one? I'm guessing.
I will tell you in a second then for that. That's on page 88. 1 second. Let's do it this way. That's better. Spencer repeating shotgun. This is hand-to-hand weapons. They get a lot of those in the house too. Handguns. A lot of handguns. Shotgun. Spencer repeating shotgun. It's a pump-action shotgun designed in America. 12-bore gun. Has an underbarrel tube magazine for 5 shells. Pumping the underbarrel handle back and forth ejects the spent shell and feeds a new one from the magazine into the chamber, which allows a rapid rate of fire and allows the shooter to keep several more shots in reserve compared to a double-barreled shotgun. Yeah, I don't have to tell you the history of how he got it, but that's what it is. It's, very modern.
So what was the make again? I was just gonna.
Spencer.
Spencer. Yes.
Sorry,
That's,
a 12-bore Lancaster Spencer repeating shotgun. It's a pump-action shotgun. Does a lot of damage.
Oh, that's Lancaster Spencer, and he lists off some of the specs, and he goes, he jams 5% of the time, but not maybe 4.5%.
2%.
Oh, sorry,
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
All right, about 2.5, maybe 3% of the time. That's an easy fix. Sometimes you just have to file out and he just trails on a bit, just listing off.
And Markham standing there looking at you kind of, with a look of inquiry on his face as you're talking about all this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get sidetracked sometimes.
Indeed, sir. I will get the brandy. And he turns and goes into the kitchen.
You seem a bit befuddled, sir. Are you aware of your surroundings? Is this where you were supposed to be?
Oh, yes. No, sir. Mechanical stuff interests me. Sometimes I'm maybe a little nervous, and sometimes I just spout off technical jargon stuff. Pay me no mind in that. Just introduce myself and I hand him my card. And my name is Glenn Graham. I guess an inventor of sorts. I've been in the United States for a few years, but I finished my apprenticeship there, and I've come back to London. And I was looking for some employment.
Give me a spot hidden roll, Ruben. James, you can as well if you wish, because you're there.
Spot hidden. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
23. Stand by. Spot hidden on the old chart is spot hidden. 23 is a hard success.
Okay. You see he's got some kind of a paper in his hand that's kind of getting wrinkled as he keeps kind of holding it as he's talking to you. Seemingly, he doesn't even remember that he has it in his hand.
How close is he to Ruben?
Pretty close. You guys are in the parlor. It's not that big.
Ruben will close the distance, offer him a brandy if he doesn't already have it, and sleight of hand the paper out of his hand.
Okay, roll it.
Stand by.
You may have a fresh one in your hand. Let's say that.
17, which I know is good, but let me see how good. I can spend 5 for an extreme success if I need to.
You don't need to. You can if you want to with flair.
No, he doesn't need to.
Okay. So you give him the drink and you slip the paper out of his hand. It is addressed to you, Reuben,
Okay.
directly, and it's from a Mr. What is your father's name? Mr. Gray, anyway.
That's a good question. Actually, it'd be from probably whoever's in charge, a lawyer friend of his. My father passed away.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay, so it's from some law office
Okay.
in London, right? Your father was from London. Is that correct, Glenn?
We'll, yeah, we'll say yes.
Probably. That's where Hudson and Brand were anyway. So
Yeah.
okay. Yep. So there you go. It's a law office in London. It's one you're familiar with. You've never had any real dealings with them. You've heard of them, maybe seen them, seen their offices, etc.
Well, sir, can I ask, how can we help you?
Yeah. So that's I was
Markham
looking for
walks in
some
with brandy and glasses.
was looking for some employment. Actually, my father used to work with what's the uncle's first name?
Ulysses.
With Mr. Ulysses Brand. So I was uh, recommended from my father's a lawyer friend of his to come here. I
I
guess my father.
see.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is that we do here?
My father talked a bit about here, but not a lot in detail. Uh, I don't know if it's. I spoke with the lawyer. The lawyer possibly did. Maybe that's why he recommended. But no one's told me anything.
So that would be a no. Oh, you seem
Yes.
a curious and easily excitable fellow. We don't have any sort of engineering aspects. We're an investigation group.
Well, yeah. Well, studied engineering, physics, chemistry. I worked under a scientist, inventor by the name of Tesla. Um, I have some skill on firearms. I don't know, uh, and I know my way around the library. But mechanical repairs, if you have anything uh, fixed, I don't know. Uh, maybe kind of investigations you do. Maybe I can help out. I said my dad was a bit of a scientist too, a bit of an engineer, slightly different fields than me, but like I said, he worked here, so as I said, I'm offering my services as well.
Very well. At least we'll offer you a meal, and we'll see where it goes. We know a lot of people in London. Perhaps we can find you a position with one of the engineering firms.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Do
you,
you want to
Markham.
have Markham, leaves the brandy tray and then he goes to get the food. What would you be having? Did they have fish and chips in the period? I bet you they
Mm.
did.
I'm thinking this is the heyday for eel.
Ooh, all
Yeah,
right.
eel and mushy peas.
That sounds good. There you go. And probably some potatoes or something too.
Sure.
Fried potatoes or something.
Bubble and squeak.
All
I
right.
haven't had a good English meal in years.
Years? You said you got back like a month ago.
Well, a good one, I said.
Ah, okay, sorry. Fair enough. Um, do you look at the letter, Ruben, or are you just going to hold on to it for now?
He's gonna hold on to it for now, and unless he can sneak a view.
Okay, what did you slip it into your pocket?
Sure.
Okay, fair enough. You rolled well enough on your sleight of hand. That's no problem. Okay,
He could let if. Yeah, I don't. I don't know. He's probably just going to hold on to it.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
pull a magic trick with it later.
I am cool with all of that. All right, so you guys begin eating your dinner. Spencer, we can take off Markham here. Sorry.
And we're not waiting until our other housemate comes back.
I think at the moment you're having dinner.
Okay.
So, and also you have you're waiting for an appointment to be set to meet with the Golden Dawn, unless there was somewhere else you wanted to go. But I was going to cut to your other housemate right now.
Indeed.
So Spencer,
Yes, sir.
you are you just suffered some bruising stuff. You didn't even have a major injury, right?
I have taken
You had three hit points of damage, I think.
only 2 hit points of damage.
Oh, two? Oh, probably because you had first aid applied or
Right.
something. Right. Okay. Cool. And then you went to the hospital for treatment.
Right.
Okay.
That's probably where I got the first aid at.
No problem. You're there for an hour.
Okay.
You do not get any more hit points back, but you're treated well, and you flirt with the nurses, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even sign some autographs, maybe for a doctor or two.
Sure. Of course. I'm always happy to do anything I can for a fan.
Or maybe even a couple of nurses. But yeah.
Mm.
Then you're discharged from the hospital. There's nothing severely wrong with you. You're battered and bruised. You jumped out of a taxi cab and crashed into a newsstand, but
Sure did. I sure did.
nothing's broken, nothing's sprained. If you feel any pain, just grab some cocaine from your local chemist and
Of course. Wonderful
Follow-
stuff. That
follow the
truly
instructions.
it truly is the elixir of the gods.
Don't even need a prescription. So, yeah, so you're released.
Excellent. I will. I'm sure there's cabs lined up
Oh yeah, they have a
beside
cat.
the front.
Absolutely.
Be more careful this time. Look inside. Look at the driver. Give him a little suspicious eye, and then say,
He's
"What is
kind
it,
of
33?"
a pudgy guy, clean shaven, about 3 chins. Got a big
Wonderful.
hat on. It's kind of drizzling a bit now.
Sure. Yep.
It's hot
Hop
still.
in,
It's still warm, but it's drizzling.
Hop in. Flip the blanket over my legs, and
Mhm.
I'm sure is in there. And where is it? 33 Golden Circle,
33 Golden Square.
Golden Square.
Mhm.
I'll give him the address, and off we go.
Indeed. And he will take you home.
Excellent.
Well, home. Yeah. Home enough. You go up. Do you have a key?
I don't know. Probably not. I'll ring.
Okay. You go up. Guys, you've finished your dinner and talking. Ruben, if you wanted to slip away, maybe like taking something into the kitchen or stepping away to the restroom or whatever, the comfort room,
Sure.
what would they call it? What would they call it in that time period?
Water closet, right? Water closet.
I guess, yeah, sure. So you could get a look at the letter if you want. I'll bring everybody on now because everybody's going to be at the same location. The letter is from the father of the boy, Glenn Gray, whose name, did we give him a first name? We didn't still, did we? Mr. Gray.
Timothy.
Mr. Timothy Gray.
It's from the lawyer. So basically, the lawyer, Timothy Gray, worked for Ulysses Brand and died while on a case. The lawyer knew enough, didn't know specifics, and didn't tell Glenn about it. So I don't know if that would be in the letter.
Okay. I don't know if it would go into any specifics like that. I think it would probably just simply say, I was an associate of your uncle, Mr. Ulysses Brand. Sorry, yeah. The letter would be in his name or whatever, saying that this is a request on behalf of the deceased, the late Mr. Timothy Gray, that my son could find future employment or what do they call it, like apprenticeship with the Hudson and Brand agency of Soho. He's an accomplished. Would you have? How long ago did he die? It was before you were a scientist, right?
Possibly. You saw, what year did you say they started in 82?
81 or 82, yeah.
81. So maybe we'll say 83,
1881.
84, 83, 84. Maybe he passed away.
Okay, and how
Before,
old were you then? That was 8 years ago. 8 or
8.
9 years ago.
So 5, 27.
Okay. Yeah, so you'd already, so he would explain, he's a very bright young lad, a brilliant student, um, pursuing, degrees in physics and chemistry, et cetera, mechanical engineering. He's very interested in all the newer industrial stuff that has come out of the era and, things of that sort. And at that point in time, would you have been in America, or that was before you went to America?
No, I went to America in 1890.
Okay, so yeah, so wouldn't mention anything about that. Fair enough. There you go. So that's what it is. It's basically a letter of introduction and a request, basically a familial request from one family to another. The Grays asking the Brands, you know, to give their son employment.
Sure. Nepotism at its best. I got it.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
So
It's all in,
you
it's
get
all in
that
who
you
you
get that
know.
red. You get that red, and you can go back and you guys can finish your dinner. And then Markham's clearing up. Um, he offers cigars and more brandy to anybody who wants any. I know Ruben never takes a cigar. He usually takes
Nope.
a brandy. James, you take both a cigar and a brandy? Rob, you there, bud?
You're muted if you.
Yeah, he'll take a cigar and a brandy.
Okay, so yeah, he's smoking a cigar, drinking a brandy. And what about you, Glenn? Do you take a brandy and a cigar after dinner?
He actually still has the same brandy as before. He's probably taken a few
Okay,
sips of it, but hasn't finished it, and he doesn't take a cigar.
okay, fair enough. And then the bell rings, and you hear a slight crash in the kitchen. Nothing breaking or anything, but you hear plates being set down roughly. And then Markham comes walking from the kitchen towards the door with the shotgun in his hand.
Ruben is
Markham,
not partaking of the smoking hall, so he will follow up with him.
Glenn
Okay.
gets up. Should I be worried?
he kind of you have one of those holes, right? You have a little spy hole thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So he can see Spencer Tillman. So then he puts the shotgun down beside the door, and he starts to unlock the two massive, heavy metal locks. Oh, mechanical engineer, you can see these locks. Everything here is really well reinforced. These doors are some of the most secure you've ever seen, even in America.
It's a little odd.
Yeah.
But then again, their whole behavior is a little odd right now.
The door opens, Spencer, and you see Markham standing there, and you see, I guess, Ruben standing kind of over his shoulder, I presume. Yeah.
Indeed.
Mr.
Markham,
Tillman.
a sight for sore eyes. Oh, I have a tale to tell you all this evening. And I come walking in and put my hand on my hat and coat.
Well, come in. We have a
Brandy is on the
guest.
table. Would you like a cigar, sir?
Of course, please, of course. Ruben, oh my good man. Did not think I'd ever see you again. Oh, hello there. I walk over and I smile real big. Oh, pleasure to meet you. My name is Spencer Tillman, author. Perhaps you've heard of me.
That's a good question.
Glenn, are you at all interested in Spencer writes about the occult, right?
Do.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, then no.
You seem like
Well,
a
shame,
perfect
shame.
fit for
Oh,
Hudson and Brand.
actually, hold on a second. No, Glenn can still give, or not Glenn, but Spencer can still give me a credit rating roll.
Of
Apologies.
course.
Yeah, I don't want to rob you of that opportunity.
I rolled credit rating?
Yeah.
I rolled a 37, which
Yep,
is, I
that's a
think, a
success.
normal success.
How long have you been writing for, actually?
Oh, let me see here. Spencer is 35. I imagine he started writing fresh out of college, so since his early 20s. So for about
Over a
15 years
decade.
now? For about
Yeah.
over a decade, yes.
You know what? There is probably a small chance his father might have tried to push some occult stuff on him. So maybe his early work he might have read.
Fair
So
enough.
Well,
Well, either way,
there's the most famous books are The Widow of the Fallen Oaks, which was his third book, and On the Nature of Seance, which came shortly after.
Nice.
I think I have heard of those. My father tried to get me to read that stuff, but he trails off when he looks up at you before he says anything.
No matter, no matter. Well, perhaps I'll get you a copy at some point. I've been told they're quite good. Ha ha! And he sticks out his hand.
Oh, yeah. So,
He's got a distinct American accent. He's definitely not an Englishman.
yes. Well, Glenn Gray. I'm an engineer of sorts, among other pursuits.
Fascinating. A man of science. Ooh,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful.
As my father was before me, but I think he worked here with Ulysses Brand. So.
Oh.
Speaking of your father, it seems that you dropped this, Mr. Gray. He hands him his letter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, this is for you, I guess. Letter of introduction was given by my father's lawyer.
Wait, say no more. He puts his hands together and he holds the envelope and he rubs it together. Ah, I see. Your father's name was Timothy, was it?
Yes, sir.
And he sends regards and requests that we hire you, that you're a studious type, and in amongst all of your studies and your engineering, you're looking to take a bit of a break. Interesting. Here you go, sir. And he hands
Mr.
it.
Carmichael, you've been holding out on me.
Ha.
Well, actually,
many secrets you don't know, my friend. Many secrets.
Oh, and I mutter something about what's it called when you can read things by touch?
Telemetry.
Yeah, something like that.
I mutter that word on my breath and go, fascinating. And I sit down. But I offered you, I said I would tell you a tale, and tale it is. Oh, and I pick up my brandy and I take a sip and I light my cigar and I just relax back on the couch and I say, so I went I went to the library this afternoon to do some investigation. And oh, by the way, we really should send someone to the Robin Hood Bower to do some investigation. But that's not the most fascinating part. As I left the library, I went to step into a hansom cab, and a man tried to stab me. Oh, if I hadn't been quick enough, I might be dead as we speak. Instead, I threw myself off the cab and landed in a newsstand, and they ran off. If I'm not mistaken, it was definitely one of those guys. The knife, I only saw it for a moment, but as I flung myself off, I could swear it was the same as the one we found in the other one we found. And I kind of look at Glenn a little suspiciously for a moment. Well, I'm just now coming back from the hospital, but I think Markham is right. We are being watched. We should be careful. Has anyone seen Loyal? He's huge. There's nothing.
He's difficult to miss.
Indeed. Well, I wouldn't worry about him. The man's he's a giant.
Indeed.
Him. But yes, I tell you, I've never had such a near-death experience before in my life. It's rather invigorating. Utterly frightening, though. I take another sip, another puff. But the Bower, yes, we should send someone to the Bower, I say. Just kind of stare off into space for a little bit now.
What, if you don't mind me asking, sorry, but what do you need to look for at this Bowery?
Well, clues, I guess. There's some strange things afoot right now, I tell ya.
Well, if you're being watched, perhaps I should go. But if you give me an idea of what you're looking for, what I should be on the lookout for, if you, well, just an idea.
Interesting. Well, you're a helpful fellow, aren't you?
And the bell rings again.
Well, Markham.
It's a popular place here.
Looks like it's going to be a party.
Wait, should we be worried about that one?
And Markham looks. The shotgun's still leaning against the door. Actually, He forgot to pick it up, which is fine. And walks over, peeps through, and looks back at you with a look of concern on his face, and opens the door. And Sergeant William Parlow is standing there.
Sergeant Parlow, good evening.
I'll stand up when I. Does he look like a police officer? Is he in uniform? Or...
Let's see. He is in uniform, yes.
Oh, I see a cop. I stand up.
He's very well built. Of course, Reuben, you're well familiar with him. You've met him a multitude of times. You know he was a good close friend of Hudson and Brand and helped them in many an hour of need. He comes in. He has a very grave look on his face. He looks like he's very pale. He looks very tired. His eyes are sunken, and Markham says, "Well, please come in, Sergeant. Can I get you anything?" And he says, "Yes, please. A brandy would be nice." And so, of course, Markham brings the brandy and offers him a cigar, which he takes. And he says, "I'm afraid I have some very bad news for you, Mr. Carmichael."
I find it best to just go ahead and pull the bandage off, sir.
Ah, this must be your new partner, Mr. Chamberlain.
Indeed.
Chamberlain, you might even know this guy. I think. What skills do you have for? Yeah, just give me an idea roll. Sorry, that'll work. Your intelligence, because I can't think of the skill right now.
From Chamberlain? You need it from Chamberlain, right?
Yeah, that's Rob.
Okay.
No idea. Okay, 90. I have 90 intelligence.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So give me a roll and tell me what you get.
No,
Oh, I
got
thought I was
70
smart.
I rolled a 77.
Okay, but you have a 90 intelligence. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am,
you know of Sergeant William Parlow. He's a kind of got a bit of a reputation on the force, because of his previous involvements in various cases that Hudson and Brand were also involved in. But yeah, he says it seems that someone has murdered one of your associates, Mr.
Indeed.
Mr. Loyal Gibbs was stabbed to death brutally.
It doesn't even seem possible.
And not very far from here either.
he was such a gentle giant. What would cause somebody to want to murder him?
Well, I do not know. I just thought that you'd like to hear it maybe from a friend before someone else comes. I believe they will be assigning a Scotland Yard inspector based on a previous attack that was reported today on one of your members.
Indeed. Yes, I was nearly stabbed myself. Right in front of the library, in fact.
That was you then, sir.
Oh, yes.
Sergeant William Parlow, I apologize.
And I would assume
worries,
his
Mr.
brother
Parlow.
would want to be involved in some way.
You introduce yourself as Spencer Tillman?
Of course I do. Spencer Tillman, author.
Perhaps you've heard of him.
Perhaps you've heard of me.
No, I'm afraid I have not, sir.
I don't imagine you have much time to indulge in tales of the occult.
Oh, and his eyes kind of
In your
darken.
duty.
His eyes kind of darken again, and he says, "Believe me, sir, I've seen plenty of strange thing on the job."
Fascinating, fascinating. Perhaps I could interview you sometime. But that's not here or there right now. We are discussing our good friend Doyle.
Yes.
Oh,
Has
terrible.
his brother been informed yet?
Oh, of course he has. His family were the first to know.
That is very distressing. Was the assailant caught?
No, his body was found in an alley. This
Damn it.
occurred less than 2 hours ago. Well, sorry, the body was found less than 2 hours ago, he'd say. He hadn't been dead long. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. That's it. Unfortunately, that's all I know, sir. I'm sorry to bring the such dark news to you. I know your agency has fallen on hard times recently in such matters.
We've had quite a bad run of luck. Could we offer you a meal? Have you able to take dinner?
Oh no, sir. I'll go home and eat. But thank you.
Well, thank you for your time, Sergeant.
And he excuses himself and leaves. Markham has kind of a sad look on his face as he closes the door and locks both of the big mechanical locks.
Your little birds are going to be devastated.
Indeed.
Oh my. It had to have been the same ones who tried to do me in as well today.
Well, then consider yourself lucky because Loyal was literally twice the man you are.
Maybe 3 times.
Perhaps.
My word.
This is rather distressing.
Indeed.
What on earth did we do to gain this much attention from this sort of aggressive organization or individual that's directing all of this? Cabal of evil has come our way, it appears.
It seems to me that we have no choice but to expose the source and put an end to it.
Indeed.
I do not want to keep looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life for blind men with knives.
At this point, Ruben's going to go to the window and see if he sees a unmarked cab, watching the building on the street.
Glenn is still there. Glenn is still there with us.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
Hold on just a second. Let me fix this microphone.
Yeah, Glenn is still here.
Oh yeah, Glenn is still here. I'm sorry. Is that what he said?
It's kind of a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me
Glenn.
better now?
Yeah, better. Glenn is
Okay.
still here. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll tell Glenn. I'll talk to him, and because I'm sure it's kind of startling that he's here, and all of a sudden somebody
Somebody's died.
died.
You're hired. We have a position open.
Yeah, really.
Sorry. I apologize.
I'm sorry for you to have to be here whenever we get such sad news about a comrade that we have known for the company has known for quite a while, and individuals have known him since they've joined the company. I hope this doesn't, I don't want to say frightened, because I'm sure you're not a frightening man, but it's one of those things that does happen in a situation and business of what we do. Take that to mind before you decide you would like to be associated with us, and think it over a little bit first. I would ask you to.
Oh
Cedric.
no, I think I came at a opportune time. You need someone who's maybe not known to be part of your agency.
Well, as we are under surveillance, just by you being here, you are now associated one way or another. So, but he speaks clearly. You should consider your options here. This is not going to be a casual day at the office.
So, Ruben, do you just glance outside quickly to see if a cab is sitting across the street, or do you
Correct.
stare outside, or?
Oh, he's going to give a good hard look.
Give me a spot hidden roll, please.
Spotted. There we go. Oh, yikes. I might have actually failed that one. 1 second. He's got a good spot hidden too. 72. Yeah, 61 I failed. 72 is what I rolled. Unfortunately, I did not see it.
Okay, no worries. No, you don't see any cab across the street anyway. There's no cabs parked across the street at the moment. It's kind of late at night. Most people in this particular neighborhood are professionals who have gone home for the night, so they don't have any customers coming home either.
Right.
or customers going home either. So there aren't cabs in the neighborhood very much. You don't see any when you look out.
Reuben,
A few hours ago, it would have been quite busy.
Yes.
do you happen to have a file on Mr. Gibbs with like maybe some background on him, a family, that sort of thing?
I don't believe so. The only information that would be about Loyal would have been in the various case notes.
You know about his
And
brother.
yeah, he does. We only know about his brother and the brother's family. He was
His brother is a constable or a policeman as well, but
right.
in a different neighborhood.
You probably also knew where he lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a flop house. So it's
But as far as like having family and friends and notes about his person and such, no.
yeah, you only know of his brother, and aside from you, he didn't really have. He had a lot of acquaintances, maybe people knew him, but not any friends that you know.
The little birds all know him.
Yeah, so
They all probably know his brother too.
Right, because I wanted to write an obituary for him. Like that's like the one thing I can
Oh,
do.
we could definitely get information for obituary.
Right, that's what I wanted to
But
do.
you might want to tone it down because he lived
Oh, of
a
course, of
fairly
course.
macabre life. So
Oh no, I wouldn't mention anything shameful or harm, something that would upset the family or anything like that. Just his good nature and that sort of thing. I
sure.
suppose if I know, I could mention the brother's name. I wouldn't want to put anyone else's in there since he's as a police officer, is a public figure. So with that and the notes that I have in the case files, I will. I'm going to head to my room and see what I can do for him. It's the most. I
Okay.
think it's the least I could do.
Do you want to have some dinner? Markham will offer you some.
Yes, please, of course. If you could bring that up to my room, I'm going to look through my notes while
Sure.
I
He's gonna
get
have to
this ready.
reheat it anyway, so.
Right, gentlemen, I will maybe speak with you later tonight. If not, good evening. I'll head to my room.
Indeed, I have some things to discuss with Markham. So, gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, you'll follow Markham into the kitchen.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Markham, with all this added surveillance and hostilities, I was considering hiring a man to work for the house, someone to work under you to offer you a bit of relief, so you wouldn't have to be on alert 24/7. What were your thoughts on that?
It would have to be a man you trust.
More to the point, it'd have to be a man that you would trust.
Indeed, sir.
Do you have anybody in mind that you could pull into the queue here?
Give me a day, sir. I'll see what I can find.
Very good. If you're open to it, then I am also open to it. 2, if you need be.
Very well, sir. I will let you know what I find tomorrow.
Very good.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, isn't it?
Indeed.
But who would watch the house while he's away? Or would you just have him maybe send messages?
If he has to leave, then
you guys have a phone, don't you?
I don't. I do believe we already discussed this, and we don't have a phone.
Oh, okay.
Although we could have had one installed because we did have some money bags for a while. We did have some folks throwing money around, so I guess we could have arranged to have it installed. That wasn't anything that I brought up.
That said, the people he would need to contact probably wouldn't have phones anyway, so yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, if he needs to leave, then Ruben would volunteer to stay behind.
Well, sir, I may be gone all day.
I have watched a house before. I could take care of the meals as it is. This is important. I need consider your welfare as well.
And what if you need an extra gun, sir?
Well, we're a collective here. We'll man up.
He looks at James. James definitely can handle a gun.
Indeed.
He looks down the hall where Spencer has wandered off. Kind of shakes his head, and then he looks. Glenn's still there, yeah, sitting awkwardly on the
Yeah, did everyone walk
settee.
away, or is
No,
is James
just
still here?
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's just you and James sitting there now.
Yeah, I guess he's looking a little awkward if James doesn't bring up a conversation.
Fair, fair.
I
This
asked
is
you if you're going to feel safe going out knowing that we've been watched, most likely, by somebody in a um, transportation. And
you,
so if
okay.
you're going to be wary of getting into a transportation, I mean, you're welcome to spend the night here if you don't have family you're
That's a
going
good
home to.
call.
Well, actually, that's funny you should bring that up. I don't actually have a place to stay. I've been, as I said, I've only been here for about a month, just staying at a hotel. Have my stuff in storage there, but I wasn't.
Something
I
of an academic
Well,
orphan you are, my friend.
Yes,
Mr. Gray, you seem to know a lot about shotguns. Do you know how to fire one?
I do. Yes, had a little bit of practice when I was in the States. They do like their guns there.
He picks up the shotgun, tosses it to you.
He catches it in one hand and he opens it up, looks, checks the chamber. Was it loaded? I'm just.
It's loaded.
Oh yeah, and he, so it's that one. So yeah, he pulls out the bullets, looks it over, maybe examines it, puts the shots back in, and closes it up.
Says, allow me to show you to the shooting range, sir. And he'll lead you
And
to the downstairs and out back downstairs. Kind of, you guys had a little area set up that was a shooting range, and had been seeing much use as one recently again as well.
I
So yeah,
nudge Ruben and kind of whisper to him, what's going on with Markham here?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, he's kind of giving this Mr. Gray kind of like a job interview or something. Like, he's asking him about how he can handle shotguns, etc.
I think he's trying to evaluate whether he needs to be babysat or not.
Okay.
With all this recent hostility, need to know who can handle a gun and who
You're
needs to
talking about
be shielded.
you're talking about Mr. Gray needs babysit or Markham may be needed to be babysit.
I think Markham is trying to evaluate everyone that he's not confident on. Is more to the point.
Gotcha. Okay.
so yeah. You want to take a few shots with the shotgun?
sure, I can do that. Hopefully, better than Loyal did target practice.
There's 5 shots in there, so you can fire as many as you want of those 5.
First one's a little off. Fail. And he gets in. He stretches a bit after that first shot and tries to line up. Gets it. That is a success.
Okay. Second shot hits.
Chalk. 1.
Oh, nice. That one hits right in the fucking face, basically. That was a kill shot.
Oh, well, I think I got the hang
Guaranteed.
of this one. Yeah, it's had to compensate for the pull. It shoots a little to the left a bit, but and when he says that, he's distracted.
And misses the next shot. Okay. Shot
Yeah,
4
a-
misses.
and he straightens up and he focuses and fails again. Wow.
Oh, wow.
1 out of 5.
What'd you say? You rolled a what?
No, sorry. No. I failed that one.
Oh.
No, it was 2 out of 5 shots. I think you got. Yeah.
So you hit twice.
Yep.
And you failed on 3. Okay. Um, what is your shotgun skill, percentage-wise?
35.
Okay. So, um, can walk back. Walks over, takes a shotgun, starts cleaning up. Sweeping up whatever the shells or whatever the casings, I should say, and says, "Very well, Mr. Gray. You can look after her while I'm gone." And he hands you the shotgun.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Uh,
He tells you where you can find a box of ammunition or whatever. Probably, I assume, probably comes in like little 20 shell boxes. They're not little, actually. They're probably pretty big. But and he says, Mr. Carmichael, you don't mind if I take one of the Webleys with me tomorrow, do you?
Not at all.
Very well. He goes to the gun cabinet, takes out one of the Webleys, make sure it's loaded, and yeah, and then resumes. Tucks it probably into his jacket, and resumes cleaning up after dinner. Especially now that Mr. Tillman is eaten. Oh no, he's got to actually take Mr. Tillman's heat Mr. Tillman's dinner up and bring it to his room. Then he will finish tidying up. Sorry, almost forgot to feed you, Merrick. Don't want to miss out on that eel.
Right.
Yum yum.
Pardon me. So, all right. Anything else you want to do that night?
No, just writing. I put it in my chat. I did the roll for the check. Scored rather well on that.
Indeed.
But that's what I'll do for the night. And I guess tomorrow, barring anything else, I might want to go and visit the family and get their approval for the obituary before I take it to the Times for publication.
Definitely take one of the cards from Hudson and Brand to
Of course.
make your introductions and such.
Of course, of course. So those are my plans at the moment.
And other than that, Ruben's just going to wait out the night, see if he can get some rest, and then follow up with Markham in the morning, see what his plans are. If he needs to stay and monitor the situation, then get word to the Golden Dawn for an appointment. And as it seems that he might be there, see if maybe you can get him to come there instead.
Sure. No problem. Invite them to come there.
Sure.
You can send out the invitations in the morning. Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, because Albie will be by in the morning, of course. It'll be Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay.
What time of night is it?
By this point in time, probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind, is Markham going out now or no? That's for the morning.
No, he's going out in the morning.
If you wouldn't mind, I'll just call a carriage. I'll go pick up. I just have a trunk, not much in it, just in storage at the hotel. If that's not a problem, I can pick it up and bring it over here.
No, sir. You're free to do as you like.
He will leave the shotgun here, and yeah, and then he'll go out to call a cab, I guess.
I would be wary getting into cabs, sir.
Well, I would need it's not a light chest to carry on my own. I would need a cab. What am I looking for? What kind of cab should I not be getting into?
I would look into every cab, sir. Be very wary getting into cabs.
Okay. And he steps out and he peeks outside, looks both ways before he steps out. and then down to the road.
Give me a roll, please.
What kind of roll would you like?
A percentile roll, please.
Just a percent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
63.
Okay, thank you. Yep, cab pulls up.
I look at the markings on the cab number.
Yeah, it has a number on it. It's marked for like O'Reilly's cabs out of actually their address is on there as well. It's somewhere in Limehouse area, Lambeth,
Okay, so yeah, I give him the name of a hotel, and yeah, and I
Okay.
climb in.
Okay.
I look inside as well
Yeah, there's nobody in there.
for a second. Okay, and then I climb in.
So he'll drive you to the hotel.
Now I ask. I'll say I'll pay deposit. I'm just going to pick up a chest, but I can give you non if you want to. If you wait for me,
Certainly, sir. It wouldn't be a
how
problem.
much? How much was the fare there?
Oh, I don't know. It's in probably shillings.
Okay.
I assume, yeah, with your credit rating, it's nothing. It's like, pocket money.
Okay. Then
Very easily
yeah,
done.
I'll go in, pick up my chest, bring it out, and I guess strap it to the back. Is he still here? Well, I guess
Yeah, he waited for you. Absolutely.
okay. All right, so I'll strap my chest to the back, make sure it's nice and secure,
Absolutely.
and,
Yep.
and I'll say back to the address 33 Golden Square again.
Very well, sir. Moving, are we?
Yes. Yeah, and I'll climb back in.
And he drives you back. He helps you with the trunk.
All right, thank you. And I hand him a little extra that's for helping me, and I'll carry it over to the
Thank you
entrance.
kindly.
And yeah,
He takes the money, and yeah, he drives off.
I look around as I'm going up the steps. Look around across the street, if I see anything that looks out of the ordinary. Trying to figure out what they mean by people
Okay,
watching.
give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh boy, not even close.
You don't see anything. Everything looks normal to you.
I shrug and I'll head over to the door and ring the bell.
Okay. Markham will answer. Mr. Gray, he'll help you with the chest, bring it back in, and show you to your new guest room.
Okay, am I staying in one of the two upstairs or the one downstairs?
That's a good question. Let's take a quick look at this. Okay. Oops, this is not the one I meant to.
If no one's in the basement, I'm fine with that one because it's also near the workbenches. If
Spencer, which room are you in?
We had the one that Loyal was staying in.
Loyal was staying in a back. He wasn't in an actual room. He was in where the stairs are, spiral staircase in
Two
that room.
beds pushed together.
Yeah, he was just in a which is a lot better than what he had. He didn't want to impose by taking up
Right.
the room.
So the two big rooms on the first floor are for
Ruben
James
and
Ruben.
James. Correct.
I think I'm in the one, if I can see it. It looks like it has a blue bedspread on it. The second one in to the right on the first floor.
Okay. Yep. Sure. Ground floor. I mean. Yeah. I see the
Okay,
one.
then
Right.
if they I'll take. I'm okay with the one in the basement, unless that's going to go to
Yeah.
whoever's going to take over. Help
That's no
Markham
problem.
out.
Two of the rooms in the basement are taken. One of them is Markham's, and one of them is for Mrs. Levi. But
Yes, I think Markham's is the larger one with the desk. Miss Levi's is in the middle, and then there's the one with the fireplace sharing with the games room.
which is now yours.
All right. That works.
Okay. Oh, you wanted to talk to Markham again, Ruben, about his plans for the next morning, or are you going to talk to him in the morning when he's preparing breakfast?
In the morning. Yeah, in the morning.
Okay. Yep. So in the morning, he's already preparing breakfast. Probably when you get up, Ruben.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll say, I'm going to go see some family outside of London. I'll be gone for the day. It'll be a train trip out, a train trip back. I'll be extra careful, sir. And he pats on his jacket where you can see the bulge from the Webley.
Please do, Markham. And if you need to take an extra day, then just do so. And don't worry, we will muddle through without you.
It's no problem, sir. He says, what's the guy's name? Mr. Stafford will be taking me to the train, sir, and he'll be picking me up as well at an arranged time. I won't
Very
be taking
good.
any strange cabs.
Perfect. I wish you good luck.
Yes, sir. I wish you good luck with making dinner and supper and tea.
I think we'll be okay. Boxes of biscuits, if nothing else, right?
Indeed, sir. I'm sorry this had to happen on Mrs. Levi's day off, but
No, it's not to be worried about. Anyway,
no, sir. And yeah, so once breakfast is made and ready, like for self-service, essentially, you probably have kind of set up so that anybody can go to the kitchen and spoon up a plate of breakfast and take it out and eat it, whatever. Then he departs.
and then I'll just wait on Albie to show up, get the latest from the birds, see if there's anything on the cabs that they're supposed to be keeping track of and such.
Indeed. Let's see here. Let's take Markham off for the moment. Okay, and let's pull up Albie. Albie arrives in the morning. He comes in looking kind of glum.
I bet.
He's surprised that you answer the door. He's like, "Good morning, Mr. Carmichael. Is it true, sir?
Albie,
Tell me it's not true."
it is unfortunately true. Of all the things I would have never expected, this was high on the list.
Did you see the paper?
I did not.
You see the papers kind of sitting outside the door that you haven't picked up.
Well, he'll pick it up.
Yeah, and the headline is something about potential new serial killer loose on the streets of London. Hudson and Brand agency attacked is one of them. Talks about two men being attacked, one wounded and one viciously murdered, who work at a 33 Golden Square in Soho for the Hudson and Brand agency. The agency has taken on a bit of a macabre reputation recently, with this marking the fourth death of their associates in the last, what has it been? Year?
2 year, yeah.
Year and a half?
Oh, that's right. There was
No,
the mass death. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. It's only been maybe a year and a half. I don't think it's been 2 years anyway since Von Zorn died.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah, people die.
Inspector Cleveland assigned to the case to bring this killer to justice. You might remember Inspector Cleveland. You dealt with him
Yes.
in your last case, I believe.
Yes, sir. Notes on
So
Cleveland.
Albie just doesn't know what to say. He's just devastated that Loyal's actually dead, and of course Loyal's mentioned in there. Loyal Gibbs murdered. He's mentioned as the gentle giant, the beloved, if slightly deformed brother of a upstanding and well decorated London police constable. And then the other man who was attacked is none other than famous American author Spencer Tillman.
Perhaps you've heard of him.
Author of multiple books on the occult, which were um, very well received in America, and his books have just now started really taking off in Great Britain as well. Blah blah blah, and then of course there's all the other stuff, but other articles. But yeah, you're all over the papers. Oh, and of course they'd mention the agency is owned by Reuben Carmichael Brand and his new partner, Mr. James Chamberlain. Why would anybody want to kill Loyal, sir?
I'm hoping that it was a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Do you think it's true what they say? Do you think it's a serial killer? Another Ripper, perhaps? Only this time one who seems to be targeting you.
It does not bode well, does it? Albie, I think it perhaps best that you redirect yourself and your birds to other pursuits for a bit of time. Focus on classes and keeping an eye on each other. Maybe travel in threes. And I will be in touch with you soon. I will. I'll make it a point to come to you instead of you coming to me. I'd rather you stay away from the house for a while.
Very well, sir.
Until this blows over. But no worries. No one's forgotten. I'll come visit you at the school.
Very well, sir. Do you want to have him arrange the message to
Yeah, that will be
Westcott, or
that'll be the final run. If you could make this if you can safely make it there and back to your school, take the long way. Make sure you're not being followed, and drop this letter off.
Very well, sir. We'll be very careful. I'll let all
and
the
I will
know.
catch up with you tomorrow or the next day. And he'll give him at least a week's worth of allowance for him and the birds to carry him through.
Mm-hmm.
It's Glenn is probably there, but maybe further back, like not to intrude on the conversation. But he is.
And I gotta be honest, if you're Jorgen de Castro and this fight doesn't go.
I'm sorry. What?
Sorry, Paul. Could you say that again, Paul? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Glenn is probably present. He's not right nearby. He's just further away. He's not trying to intrude, but he's just standing there. He has the shotgun, like probably pointed down at this point. Like he was when the doorbell when Albie showed up. He showed up, but he stayed back when they were talking.
All right. Already getting a little paranoid, Glenn. Very good. My job is done. I'm wondering, actually, would the death of a close friend require sanity checks?
I don't know. I guess
Ruben,
if they
go ahead
saw
and
it, if they saw it, but yeah.
Give me a sanity check, Ruben.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think Spencer already had his for the attack and stuff. Did you or did you not? Actually, I'm not sure if you did, Spencer.
I don't remember.
Give me a sanity check as well.
My character sheet here.
32.
I suppose after you've had a night to write about it.
I am down 1 point, but I don't remember if that was from.
Yes,
that was from the house.
He's
the corpse.
32 out of 45.
Okay.
No, I rolled a 94 for that. That's not a success.
So after you write more about it, and you're really kind of everything's settling in, and you realize you're writing about the murder of Loyal Gibbs, and you realize, Jesus Christ, one of these guys was just killed, and he was the biggest man I've ever seen in my life.
Right, just a little shortly after my same situation where I just barely got away.
Precisely. So, so you lose a point of sanity, and you have bad dreams all night.
Of course. Makes sense.
You don't feel very well rested when you wake in the morning.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was up pretty late writing anyways, and then I
Yeah.
would sleep and just visions of knives and blind men and Loyal covered in blood.
Indeed. Indeed. So Albie will send the invitation anyway to Mr. Westcott, Dr. Westcott, I should say. And yeah, what else are you going to do for the day?
Talk to Ruben for a minute.
Yes, yes.
I think maybe we ought to hire our own carriage and driver.
We have
You
one.
think we should? Yeah, we have one.
We have one. Oh,
Yeah, you've always
But-
had one, but he's
Why
not
don't we-
independently hired completely by you. He does do other work, but he's kind of on call for you when you need him. If you say, "Look, we need you these days. We need you tomorrow," he's always there. So I'm gonna
we
guess. I'm gonna guess that you probably have thought to put him just on right now. You're gonna pay him a day's wages every day.
Yeah, put
All
him on
this shit's
retainer,
going on.
and we could put him out front, and he could look out for those other cabs as well.
Yeah,
maybe give him someone to ride shotgun
I would like to talk to him.
with a
and
shotgun.
He may have some information about who those people may be.
True.
Or what
Good
they're
call.
doing. Yeah, why are they able to, drive the carriages and, disappear after that? So
Sure. Okay. So you want to talk to Stafford, Albert Stafford? Hold on. Actually, let me put his picture up. I have it. Why not use it? It's going to be this one. We're going to change this to Albert Stafford. Sorry. Okay. Obviously, in this picture, he's sitting on a cab. He's in action. Or his carriage, actually. I think he drives a carriage.
I have one other question. What was the time between the attack on Tileman and the murder of our friend there?
Oh, you would have read the paper in the morning anyway. I suppose they'd have some information about that. It looks like the murders. Let me see. Yours occurred just as you. Yeah, actually, they occurred very close to the same time, right? It was sometime after 5 p.m.
So there wasn't time that the same person would have committed both acts of crime.
No.
Okay. So I wanted to clarify.
Nope. I probably should have made you make a roll for that, but I'll give you that one for free because that was good thinking. The papers haven't all put that together yet, maybe, but at least the sensationalist ones are saying, "Oh, serial killer on the loose," But in the meantime, yeah, you want to go talk to Mr. Stafford? He's outside because it's been probably a good couple of hours since he took Markham to the train station. He's parked right outside, and he's sitting on his cab. Ooh, yeah, weather. That's hot. Yeah, it's the bit of rain you got last night, that drizzly rain I mentioned. It just made it even hotter in the morning. Now it's just humid and kind of gross. He's there reading the paper, probably himself.
Okay, I'll go up to him and say, have I met him? Have I used him before?
I'm sure. I think. Well, no, you're only just hired. You just joined the agency during this investigation, right?
Yes, at the beginning. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have. You might have used him once. I can't remember, but
Okay,
we're gonna just assume you've introduced yourself.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chamberlain, can I take you somewhere?
No, not right at the minute. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind if I talked to you a little bit about the situations that's going on with these drivers or these people that are assuming to be drivers. Yeah.
I've been reading about it in the papers all day.
Yeah.
Or all morning, I should say, because it's still morning.
Do you know anything about like the company that the carriages were, or how would they be able to take over a carriage and
well, I haven't.
The other driver?
I haven't heard of any particular company being involved, sir. From what I understand, none of the cabs were marked.
It's just kind of perplexing.
Not really, sir. If I was going to do something illegal, I certainly wouldn't want to have a big badge on the side of the cab saying who I am and where I live. or at least where I work.
Right. Hmm. So, is there very many cabs that don't have any information upon them?
Not very many. Most are regulated now, but there's still some that slip through the cracks.
Okay, well, you gave me a good idea. Thank you.
It's a pretty good fine, I suppose, if they were to be reported and caught.
Hmm. Okay, well, you have a nice morning. I will probably talk to you later. Thank you.
Very well, sir. I'll
I
be
want.
here if you need me.
Thank you. I want to go and talk to Spencer.
Do you guys still have another spare room available? You do, don't you?
I think there's still one upstairs. I don't,
Yeah, I think there is. So
because there's four upstairs.
if you want, don't forget you could have Mr. Stafford even stay here, overnight in case you should need him for emergencies.
Yeah, there's one more between me and James' room.
Yep, perfect. I don't know. You don't have to do it just because I said it. It's just something that crossed my mind. If you want to keep him on call every night, day and
Well,
night, you'd have to
I
pay
was
him
think,
extra, of course. But
I was thinking that, but where does the carriage go?
hmm.
That's the only problem. You can't really leave it outside.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because I was looking in the the next building is attached. There's actually even a set of
Yeah,
stairs up.
and we
That's
don't have
that's a
a
fair point.
stable or livery.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a fair point.
We can make we'll turn the back entrance where the hospital is into a stable.
Just buy out the doctor's practice. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what else you want to do? Spencer's gonna sleep a little late, I suppose. So
Yeah. So if
Spencer's is he awake or asleep? You said.
well, if James is coming, about what time is it now that you would come to see me?
Yeah, I was going to come talk to you.
oh,
What would
this time just after talking to Albert Stafford, it's probably like not even 10 o'clock in the morning yet.
I'd probably be up at that point if the light was already bright. But if you probably see me in my dressing gown shaving at my mirror when you came. Hope you're not scandalized.
Ah, yeah.
It is quite bright because it's a very hot summer.
Right. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to sleep through that. I probably got dark circles under my eyes and just very carefully shaving.
Being a novelist, or I mean, a writer. Pardon me, a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a memory of things that you're investigating. Where you can put it back in your book. So, I have a question. Was there a name on the cab that you took when you were brutalized?
I wasn't really expecting to be stabbed when you get into a cabin there. Such a common sight in the city. Oh, let me think on this. Should I roll in a?
Let's
Well,
call it.
I do remember looking at the cab as it rode away, but
Yeah, let's call it an
would I
idea
have
roll, but we're looking for a hard success.
Yeah. I rolled an 88, so I'm sorry, James. No, I don't recall.
You
I
don't
was
recall.
I don't recall. I was rather frightened at the time, and I had just smashed into a poor man's newsstand. All I was happy for at that point was that I didn't have a knife buried in my chest.
Oh, sorry. The,
Shudders.
the paper probably would have mentioned too that Loyal was stabbed multiple times. One of the papers might even sensationally say he had 18 wounds on his body.
You're very fortunate. I'm glad you were able to make through it.
Yes, indeed.
It's a sad day as it is, let alone two people being that way. Such a
Yes.
gross murder. I mean, just yeah. Yeah, there has to be some way to find out whether a cab company is doing this, the people that work for them, or the company itself is involved with the main players, or they're stealing the cabs or borrowing the cabs to do these things.
I do seem to recall Markham at some point saying he had seen an unmarked cab. Did he not?
Yeah, you mean from across the street?
Yeah, he did.
Watching? Okay.
Hmm.
Ah, good one there, Spencer. Good.
Yeah, so
Pretty
then
helpful.
if that's the case, I can't imagine that they are affiliated with any official company, but
True.
there are, I dare say, hundreds of private, maybe even thousands of private hansom cabs in the city. If we could get oh, a make or model of them or some
Yeah,
sort, I'm not sure.
there are over 6 million people in London right now, so
So there's got to be thousands of them that are for private use. I suppose that what we can only do now is hope that we spot another one and are able to get some description of it.
Well, if it was two different cabs that you were in and our dear departed friend was in, then that means they had multiple. Most
But
people.
was
Yeah.
he in a cab or was he chasing after a suspect?
the papers did not say. They only mentioned that you were attacked in a cab.
Hmm. Does it say? Do we know about what time this attack happened on Mr. Gibbs? Because if that's the case, then we can know whether or not there's more than one
Yeah.
assassin running around.
Yeah.
I was at the library, and it was in the evening. I know about what time I arrived there because I could at least ask the hospital when I arrived there. It wasn't more than 20 minutes beforehand that I arrived, I'm sure. So that would give us a fairly good time frame, and if we could find out about when Loyal was killed, then we could determine if there are multiple assassins still out there, or if it's just one.
Yeah, the
Very busy.
The papers, you know how the papers are written, though, not necessarily by fact or
Right.
maybe just by opinion.
Oh.
That there was two incidences. I mean, the incidences were apart.
Yes.
I don't know.
How much time in between, though? That's a conundrum.
Right.
I'm sure the inspector will be around at some point to ask us. And we do know that he was found less than 2 hours before we got the news. So it's possible there was one vehicle involved. It would be easier to transport such an assassin across the city with a vehicle. But if the time frames are too short, then we can probably determine whether or not there are more than one involved. Perhaps there's evidence that of course there's evidence that they wouldn't release to the news. Maybe a tire track or.
In your case, were you attacked by the driver?
No, indeed not. I stepped into the cab and I turned to look at the seat. And the next thing I knew was a knife flashed out of nowhere, and I did the first thing I could think of, which was to hurl myself away. Luckily, I succeeded.
So whenever you entered the cab, you saw no one in the cab, but then suddenly there was a knife.
And I was rather distracted. I had news I wanted to bring. I'm not trained for this. I just saw the cab, walked up, and stepped into it. The man, he could very well have just been sitting there very still. And
Sure.
Where are you guys talking right now? Are you in
my room?
Oh, okay.
I suppose we'll have to ask the inspector.
Yeah.
Sure. I wonder if the constable who took my report wrote down the time. I'm sure he had to. They must have that information already, unless he was, negligent in his duties. But I gave as much detail as I could. I'm sure that's part of their procedure to write down the time that they thought the crime occurred, because that's important, isn't it?
Very, yeah. Especially with what we're trying to find out. Let's just hope that it's just one person.
Indeed.
Not a group of them.
Indeed.
But I fear that there may be more than one.
The doorbell rings.
Well. I go back to my shaving.
Actually, I guess I'm probably there, so I'll go answer the door.
Okay. You have the shotgun?
Yes. Where's Ruben at this time?
I don't know. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Approaching 10 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Approaching 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Ruben would be there.
Probably. Are you still tidying up after breakfast, or did you just leave it?
Exactly. Yeah, he would approach the door with shotgun in hand.
Okay. Very good.
Well, I guess you would probably look through since you recognize more people than I do.
That would be pretty fair, and it is my
You do
agency.
indeed recognize the two people standing outside.
It's my agency in my house. Yeah, I got it.
Ruben, you do
Yes?
recognize the two gentlemen standing outside as Inspector Cleveland and Detective Sergeant Craig from Scotland Yard. You've met them
Right.
before
Yes.
during your previous case, the one with the strange aliens. And
I'm writing this down on new Notepad. Inspector Cleveland and Sergeant who?
Detective Sergeant Craig.
Detective Sergeant.
They work together.
Yes, I got it. It's on a new page.
Okay, no problem.
Gentlemen, please come in.
Okay, you open the door. You have to undo
Yes.
the two big mechanical bolt locks and open the door. Do you have the shotgun in your hand?
No, it'll be over to the side.
Put it down. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll follow your lead then.
Good. Yes, and so they'll both walk in. Mr. Carmichael, I didn't expect to see you answering the door. Cleveland says, where is that Markham with that bottle of brandy?
He is unfortunately visiting family.
Oh, I see.
I think I can manage the brandy. It is rather. Oh, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
I could get it, sir, if you want it.
We work odd hours in Scotland
Indeed, we
Yard,
do.
you know. I'm sure you do as well. I'm
Indeed.
very sorry about the death of your friend, or associate at least.
Bit of a shock, as these sort of deaths are, but even more so that this particular individual was stabbed.
He was
a
quite an
formidable
imposing
undertaking.
man. Yes. It would take I would assume it must have been someone of great strength.
Or a great deal of special skill.
Mm. And your other associate, Mr. Spencer Tillman, I believe, is listed as residing here currently.
He was attacked. He is
almost simultaneously.
It does seem that way. Please come in. Don't let the flies in.
I'm sorry. I thought you had already let him in. Yeah.
And
he's in the parlor. That's why he asked about the brandy.
Okay. Well, he'll clack the door shut with the two big bolts and all that.
They both noticed the shotguns. They don't say anything though. You know, frankly, they probably don't blame you.
Right.
Well, I thought I would do you the courtesy, sir, of giving you the information that I can.
Do appreciate it. He will pour them the brandies.
I do, of course, have some questions of my own.
I wonder if it would be
mind answering.
Of course. I wonder if it'd be appropriate to do like half brandies, before noon or something, like whatever the appropriate etiquette would be.
He did ask you for a half brandy. He asked you for brandy.
I know. I'm just saying there might be an etiquette for before lunch. Anyway, carry on.
Give me a spot hidden roll
before tea. Spot hidden.
No, not spot hidden. Sorry. Give me a psychology roll.
Well, I'm just gonna roll and then you tell me what you need. 34.
I think. What's your psychology skill?
I'm gonna check, but as we have well documented, it's not very high. Oh, it's a 25.
Yeah.
So it's just a failure.
Yeah, it's not worth spending the luck for, because you wouldn't get the experience anyway. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get to level the skill up or whatever. So,
right.
But that's okay. Your spot hidden is what?
You made a roll again?
No. Same roll.
My spot hidden is a 61.
A 61? Okay. So is it
a hard success?
Almost a hard success.
Yeah, 1 point, not a hard success.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, you do notice he's a bit rosy-cheeked already. You get the feeling that maybe this isn't his first drink.
Fair enough. Well, with that note, perhaps we could offer you some gentlemen some breakfast.
Oh, no, thanks. I've had breakfast already. We've been working all night.
Coffee, then.
Certainly. Detective Craig says, yes, thank you. I would appreciate some coffee.
What would you like it black with cream or Irish?
I'll have mine black, please. And
Very good.
Inspector Cleveland says, ah, yes, that's one thing I've always liked about the Irish is their coffee.
Indeed. And he will prep those coffees out and the one noted as such.
Well,
Mhm.
Glenn offers to get it for you.
I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met, sir. I'm Inspector Cleveland from Scotland Yard. This is Detective Sergeant Craig.
Oh, the name is Glenn Gray. I guess interviewing, like on the job interview
I
for
see.
to join the agency here.
Hiring some extra security, are you, Mr. Carmichael?
Well, he's an engineer. We're gonna try to place him somewhere in town with one of the engineering firms, but in the meantime, he decided to throw his lot in with us temporarily.
I see, sir. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I wish you luck in your endeavors. Ah,
Thank you.
thank you. He accepts the coffee. Says, well, the attacks both occurred shortly after 5 p.m. As you probably can know from the various newspapers. This sensationalist talk in the tabloids about a serial killer, well, can't quite be accurate because there's no way that one person was murdered, yes, here in Soho, while another man was attacked at the library within such a short frame of time. So we're looking at the operation of at least two individuals.
And to be honest, there's more, sir. Did you did anyone give you any connecting information from the incident on the train at en route to the regatta?
Indeed, I was going to ask you about that. I have seen that now, and it seems to match the description the of the assailant with the attack on Mr. Tillman. Of course, it couldn't possibly be the same person because um, the attack in Henley, or it wasn't in Henley, in Twyford, was it? Oh, it was. Yeah, it was almost in Henley. Yeah,
Right.
the attack that took place in Henley, of course, the assailant perished. He kind of clears his throat, takes another sip of brandy. It
Yes, this
seems
does
it seems
does
you've
seem to
gotten
be
yourself into a bit of a, well, maybe a vendetta, perhaps, or
for the life of me, sir, I can't figure out what direction it is. To be completely honest, I've called in chips from rather malignant and nefarious contacts to see if perhaps the underworld might have some information, and they're at a loss as well. So I'm not
indeed.
sure who in specific would do this or be that interested in us to do this sort of thing.
Do you think it's
We were
related to any of your
burgled,
previous cases?
possibly, but they tended to end rather abruptly without too much evidence left behind as far as people go. There is the Heligoland,
Illegal end?
Illegal Land group, but this seems a little bit out of their realm, and they'd be a little more direct.
Were the police
And
involved in illegal end and all that? Yeah, they were. They
they
raided the
were,
place, yes, indeed.
and to be honest, we were burgled very recently, but with everything else that was going on, it really wasn't worth bringing in
When were you
more
burgled?
attention.
This is the first I've heard of this, he says.
Yeah, well,
He pulls out
again,
would they have pad and paper? No, they wouldn't have pads and pens back then, would they? I don't know.
They had pencils, I think. Wouldn't
Pencils for sure.
Sure. Then he has
Yeah.
he has some kind of a notepad. Then I'm sure. And,
Charcoal, pressed charcoal, nothing
and
else.
pencil.
But yeah,
So yeah,
pencils.
He's taking notes.
Yeah, we had a number of items taken, items that they couldn't have known where they were. Secrets hidden in the floorboard, that sort of thing, literally in the floorboards.
Any
And
weapons?
a few items were taken, a few weapons were taken. But it was such an unusual arrangement of items that honestly, I thought it might be somebody that we knew. So I've been stewing on it. And with everything else that was going on, I didn't want to saddle this on top of your agencies.
See, well, any information may be helpful. So
For sure. Well, we can pass along all the information that I've gathered. We came upon this while on vacation. It wasn't even
indeed, you were attending the regatta, I presume.
exactly. It wasn't even a mission that someone had dropped into our laps. We just kind of fell into it. So this is what I've gained so far, and I will go into the full depth, pull out all my notes.
Okay.
Regarding the Cartwrights. I'll just give them everything. I don't have to hold anything back. Archer and Jeremiah, I'll give them everything to include. Well, we're not going to tell them we broke into the house. Let's be serious here. And then
sure. You're not
even to follow up with the information about going to the house on Church Street and seeing the hearse that ended up being stolen, where they carted out a body and what looked like a body wrapped up, but all that's been turned in, and we give them all the information that I got.
Okay.
Including the funeral home and all that.
Good. Yeah. Then you'll spend a good hour there probably.
For sure. And in the process, while they're catching up on notes, he'll holler back and forth, but from the kitchen and start prepping out lunch.
I suppose it'd probably take me another half hour or so to finish up my morning routine before I head out as well.
The doorbell rings.
Mr. Gray?
He grabs the shotgun and steps closer.
Okay. The two detectives are sitting on the sofa watching you. You look out and you see a boy, like a kind of a younger boy, maybe 12, 13. Wearing kind of commoner type clothing,
Mr. Gray, what is it?
I thought you looked.
Oh, bother, out of the way. He's
He'll
to take his shotgun and move him out of the way.
Oh, I thought you looked as well, Glenn. Sorry. Yeah,
He was in the kitchen.
It's a boy. It's not one of your birds, but somebody similar. A street urchin, if you will.
Well, he will open the door. Yes.
Message for you, sir, from Mr. Westcott. He hands you a piece of paper.
And he will hand him the appropriate tip.
Yeah, shilling or two probably is fine.
Sure.
Yep, and he will leave. Well, no, he'll ask if there's a return message. Do you want me to wait for a return message, sir, or?
Well, one moment, and he'll take a quick look at the letter.
Open it up and look. Yeah, it just says that Mr. Brand Carmichael, right? Mr. Brand Carmichael, I accept your invitation, and I look forward to meeting with you. If it suits you, I will be by your agency at let's see here, 6 p.m. Please, RSVP or whatever they put, if a later time would suit.
Okay, well, he'll break out one of his cards and note the time would be most appropriate. Look forward to meeting you, and hand it back to the street urchin with an appropriate return payment.
Yeah, no problem. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty of the amounts, but yeah, no problem. Yep, and he takes it and goes.
Shuts the door, swings the locks, and goes back to lunch making.
Mm-hmm. I guess
yes,
Inspector Cleveland.
Detective.
Oh, was there anything else Inspector Cleveland wanted to share with you? I'm trying to think. Oh, yes, something else that hasn't made the papers yet, but we do know that a witness saw a cab leaving the alleyway from which Mr. Gibbs's body was discovered.
My.
They didn't get any kind of a description, unfortunately, other than to say that the driver had a ginger beard.
Red beard. Of course.
I'll come striding down the hall at this point.
Now this is at least the second time we've seen the red beard. Wasn't the guy that helped us at that point shooting? And was it on the docks? Wasn't he a red bearded
I'm sorry, say again.
individual?
A guy shooting.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
When my
Oh,
butler
oh,
took
oh,
the
oh,
cleaver
oh.
to the face.
I don't remember if he did or not. Let me see.
I'm pretty sure he was a red bearded individual, and we tied him together with the cab driving the cab at one point.
I'm looking it up now. Ah, here we go. No. He had a bushy black mustache.
Okay, fair enough. Mixing up too many details.
Mm-hmm.
Your driver, Spencer. Do you know if he had a beard?
Say that again?
You never even looked at the driver, I don't think.
No, I don't recall at all. All I
If
know
you
is
want,
that.
If you want, you can
Well,
roll an idea roll. We're going to
sure.
call it an extreme because you never even mentioned looking at the driver.
Yeah, I rolled I made a success, but it was a 39, so no.
No, okay.
But, well, if there was a cab then, that would mean that there's at least 3 people involved in this, wouldn't it?
This sort of,
Perhaps more if
this
our
is
suspicions of the assassins are true. I can't imagine they're driving themselves around.
based on the condition of the assassin.
Yeah, they don't have
And
eyes.
he'll look to the inspector. He'll look to the inspector. You do have the details about the assassin.
I've seen the
the eyes
reports.
and
Yes.
yeah, based upon that and that weirdness. I mean,
Some of it
obviously,
seems a bit outlandish, to be frank.
to be honest, sir, when you step through our doors, outlandish comes first. But yes. So one would have to assume that these sort of puppets, we'll call them, must have a puppeteer. There must be a puppet master of some sort.
The doorbell rings.
Of course. And he will go to the door, knowing that Mr. Gray doesn't know anyone, and he will, shotgun in hand, note the through the peephole.
It's a gentleman wearing, workman's clothes. You don't recognize, never seen him before in your life. He's got kind of a little floppy hat on. Definitely got the look of a commoner about him.
Okay, well, he will open the door with shotgun just outside of his reach.
Sorry, sir. I'm just here to collect the laundry.
Ah, so you were wanting to speak to Nathan?
Nathan, sir? No, I believe Markham is the gentleman we usually speak to.
Ah, yes,
Mr. Markham.
Course. Markham's not here today. Perhaps you could swing by tomorrow for the laundry, sir.
Very well, sir.
And you will tip him anyway.
Okay, good. Then he goes away.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I don't think Inspector Cleveland. Well, if there's anything else that you can tell me, of course, he gives you his card, which you've had one before, but he gives you another one. Please contact us if there's any way we can assist as well. Again, condolences about your man.
Yes, sir. And we did go over the fact that we were being surveilled, right?
Did you? Yeah, you told him everything.
Yeah, no, I told him everything. So
yep, they're gonna put people on that.
Okay, well, very good. So if there's anything that we can do in the same aspect,
he's going to increase patrols in this particular area around your agency. He's going to have men keeping an eye on the area. Extra beat officers and maybe even a couple of men with handsomes on the call.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If we need to coordinate, men shifting in and out, they can definitely use the house for facilities and such. Just let us know.
I'm just wondering. Oops, I'm looking in the wrong scenario. That's not going to help me. If there's anything else they could have told you. And would they? Yeah, this guy considers you kind of to be a friend and an ally in a sense. So, because you were cooperative with him previously. Okay.
How high up is Inspector Cleveland?
He's moved up since the last time you worked with him, but he's not like he's a pretty well respected, homicide investigator, essentially murder investigator, whatever they'd call it back then.
Gotcha.
He's making quite a name for
'Cause
himself
some-
and his
it's-
partner. And his partner. Do you run with law circles very much outside of just general work acquaintances?
Reuben?
Yeah. I'm just
No.
wondering. No. So you wouldn't.
No. Quite the opposite is what I was just thinking.
You would just know that Cleveland and Craig are both, well respected for their work on, particularly homicide.
Gotcha. Yeah, at some point he's going to have to let somebody of authority that's high up know that he's been gardening a relationship with No, and that he had brought Sherlock Holmes in on it, but things didn't work out with that contact. So
Yeah.
Is Sherlock Holmes an actual character?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an actual person. But
Okay.
This is after he's died.
he's
Yeah.
dead.
deceased.
He's dead. Yeah.
Okay, so do the novels exist as we would know them?
No,
Because
the novels don't exist. I'm going to say because, it wouldn't make sense if the novels,
Okay.
unless they were written about kind of like almost
Yeah, I
biographically.
think the whole
The
idea was that
story
Watson wrote them later when he retired.
Right.
well,
So
the thing is,
then they're not written yet.
because the previous year, 1891, a short story was published, The Red-Headed League, and I was thinking about mentioning it.
Oh, those were actual cases. Those were
Yeah.
The way I've been doing it is all the stuff that happened in the stories actually happened as real cases. Yes.
So then I probably wouldn't know about that then. If it's
No, it hasn't been written in like an entertainment form yet. It's only been
So anyway, that's the
police
plan in the near
logs and stuff like
future
that.
is to find whoever is the lead inspector for dealing with Namdek and let him know that I am using him for information gathering. Give me just a second. I gotta catch a call.
Okay? Gotcha. Well, let's take a bio break then.
Very good.
You got to catch a call. It's it's about 4:20 over here. I don't know, gentlemen. It's always 4:20 somewhere, right? Once an hour.
Well, that would mean it's not always.
Sorry, I meant to say it's 4:20 somewhere at least once every hour, right? Yeah, never mind.
Yes.
To not the inspector, the other one who wanted to drink. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so that's
Right.
why he was
Well,
thirsty.
when you're working a murder case all night long, it's
True. So I don't know if you were looking at any
wait
of
a
the
minute.
side.
I forgot to put up the "We'll be back" break screen. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right. Bio break, but I'm still on the mic if anybody wants to talk.
I was going to say, I don't know if you were reading on the side. We were considering a séance to talk to Loyal.
No, I didn't read that. I can't keep up with chat when I'm running a game, really. So,
Yeah.
Spencer has an idea about séances, so
Right.
I saw
we're
Spencer
discussing.
wrote something about the obituary and wrote really well on it, but yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
a while ago.
Spencer knows he doesn't have the gift. He just knows how it's performed, but he wouldn't be one to actually perform a seance because he knows he doesn't have the gift for that.
I do believe that Reuben Carmichael has a good occult skill.
I'm back, and yes, I do have a great occult skill.
He better.
Don't tell me what to do. You are definitely not the boss of me.
I got
I think
really
I
good
think
occult
James
writing and library and history.
I think James has a good occult skill too.
Yeah, I think it's comparable. Ruben is good at appraising stuff, languages as a whole,
Picking
occult,
pockets, picking
pick,
locks,
picking locks, picking pockets,
stealth. I
picking
think.
books out of the library, and stabbing folks with his sword.
What is your library use?
102.
Oh,
No,
good.
it
I
was,
have 103. No,
Well, very
Damn.
good. 66.
still better than me.
Well, it's 1 point higher than mine.
That's one skill that's gotten lots of improvement rolls over the
Mm-hmm.
multiple cases.
Indeed.
What is
My
this?
As with the
forte,
sleight of hand.
Is this case file 8 now for or 9 for Ruben? I can't recall.
I would lean towards 9.
Let's see. We had Bare Knuckle Bill. We had the Illegal Land case, the Ophelia Rising. Then we had
Lady in the Water.
Yeah, that was the Ophelia Rising. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we had Plantethyre, which was the Welsh little people.
Right.
We had, how many is that now? 1, 2, 3. We also had, of course, there was the Knight of Jackals. I'm not going to say these in order, but just as I remember, there was the Knight of Jackals, really stands out in my mind. There was the one with the statue.
With
where
the
you met your
green eye.
girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Green Eye? Was there Green Eye?
We were supposed to be finding the eye.
Oh, yeah, the Emerald. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So it was called the Eye, wasn't it? Yeah. There was the other little people case out in
Mm-hmm.
Cornwall, if I recall correctly. Oh, no, it was down, sorry, in the, yeah, I think that's around Cornwall. The big swampy area from Hound of the
Did you already
Baskervilles.
mention the Welsh one?
Yes. Anyway, I lost count already again, so never mind. I think it's at least 8. So. Morning birds are already out singing.
Yeah, he's been giving that some thought. So he's been walking that fine line. And once he tells somebody, then if Namdek's got people there, then he'll know that he told them. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be a tight race. He's weighing it all in. Probably the best thing to do is to tell Namdek that he's going to tell them, because he's going to find out anyway, so that his bases are covered and that he could cover his bases. I think that'd probably be the best way. He's an underworld guy. He's had to expect it to happen sometime. So what did we leave off with Namdek as far as relationship wise? He wanted to invest, but he couldn't officially invest because we had the new partner come in. So the idea was that he would support us if we would help him out with information and such as we found it. And that
Yeah,
the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a particular interest in the occult and mystical stuff too.
Yeah.
He is Jojo after all.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he knew the sorcerer, I think, or something, or at least by name.
Right.
The one who's. Did you present him with his head or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, I not his head, but a head that he had from previous coming into the game to begin with.
That's right.
It was a mummified head that he had brought back from a museum in the States.
That's right.
And he presented it to him so that they could return it because it had been stolen from a Chocho gravesite. Not that anybody should respect Chocho, because damn. But When you got one standing in front of you, respect them.
You've had a nice, respectable relationship with Mr. Yu Ying
Absolutely. Yeah.
so
Honesty
far.
and respect presented. That's, you know what I was just thinking is that maybe there's some way to arrange learning some Chocho from him.
Oh, I don't know if he'd teach you that.
Well, he's a student of languages. It's nothing nefarious. He does speak a handful of languages already.
Yeah, I know, including Tibetan and Chinese, right?
Chinese, Latin, Tibetan, Egyptian, and English.
Oh yeah, it's a good list.
So yeah, there's nothing truly nefarious about it. I mean, if he quizzed him for knowledge, I mean, he's pretty much shared everything that's happened. So
Does Ruben have any interesting books in that library in the hallway?
Hudson and Brand have got a ton of books that are all interesting.
It's like right where the entrance is. There's an angled wall. That's listed as the library.
Yeah, there's tons of cool books in there. I guess
Any
it depends on what you consider interesting, since you're a gears and springs sort of guy.
well, anyone that would probably stand out among the rest of them?
I mean, you have do you have any occult other than the 5%?
None.
Or you are in the wrong place.
Well, it's kind of hard to get it. Well, I guess I could have increased it myself.
No. You shouldn't make the character to fit something. I'm speaking as a Ruben, not as myself.
Oh, yeah.
You know what he would have. He's not going to offer this up, but he does have that little bit of information about the industrial process of dealing with metal
Ah,
that he has sold to the Russians.
Oh.
I mean, he still has it, but he's not going to share that
Well,
after
no,
one day or anything.
No. He's looking for something that not interesting to him, something that would stand out. If there's anything that'll stand out on that shelf, and then he might be inclined to peruse it a little.
okay, I'm back.
I
Everybody's
would
here
say
now.
there's probably 1,000 books that would meet that
Is Merrick there?
particular thing.
Merc is here.
Excellent.
Okay.
Everybody's here.
Then,
Then. All right, hold
and
on.
I think
We're back on now. So, another thing that would have been shared with you from Inspector Cleveland. Sorry, I forgot to look this up. You already know about Horatio Cartwright's body. You were there when he was killed.
Correct.
However, he would also mention another body that was found in, I believe it's in Henley. In fact, didn't one of you find the body?
Yes, it was me.
And reported it? Right.
Right.
Which is fine. That's you reported it. You did the right thing. So that was the body of Jeremiah Oldacre,
Right.
man of like around 65. Let's see here. His body had decayed very rapidly by the time it was found. Let's see, what else would he have told you? He'd been dispatched with the same sort of triangular bladed dagger used to slay Horatio Cartwright on the train. It had been expelled as the corpse bloated and late and was found beside the bed on the floor. There was no other body, though, just his. What else would there be? Yeah, let's see. Give me. No, don't even roll. I'll just tell you. In Cleveland's notes, he's got that the man had a shelf of books on the occult. Let's see.
Yeah, Ruben had
Unremarkable correspondence, requests of booksellers in England and abroad to university librarians, few innocuous letters from Elias Cartwright. What am I looking for here? Yeah, no, nothing there.
Regarding the knife, before you go further, remember that Reuben had originally taken it and then hidden it elsewhere on the property, so it wouldn't have been found right next to the body.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was
that
gonna
the
mention
knife?
that,
I
but
apologize. I apologize. Right.
yeah, no, it wasn't worth
No,
breaking
no,
your
sorry.
train of thought.
It
Sorry.
is worth the mentioning. Thank you. That knife was found outside in the bushes, wasn't it?
Correct.
Paul,
Or something?
stop.
Was
Jeez.
it?
Or is that the
Sorry.
knife that you still have?
Let me
Hello?
turn off the
Oh
alarm.
no, the knife that he has, he got from the guy
From
who attacked
Horatio.
them,
Yeah.
and they when they were in Chinatown and they were attacked, they beat that guy down. They took that knife
Okay. Got it.
because Loyal was attacked, and he had managed to dodge that one, and then him and Ruben clubbed the guy into,
Right. Fair enough.
clubbed
Thank
him
you.
down.
The
and took
knife was found out, outside the porch and by a bush
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
what I thought. It was in the bushes. Right.
because he came back to
So
get
just
it.
change what I said to that. I apologize.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
yeah,
correction.
obviously, yeah. I
You
just didn't want
found
to
you found the knife beside the corpse, and
Yeah,
then Rudy
I didn't want to
stashed it in the
interrupt your
bush.
process.
No problem. That was it, though. I think that was all that was noted about his house.
Oh, he had some of my books too, but
He
At
had, yeah, he had
the
some really good books.
at
But
the hold on.
Ruben brought them with him.
Was there anything unique about the knife?
yeah,
We
it
have
had
the
that
knife.
Yeah, it's a weird triangular blade.
bulbous handle.
It's it looks like it's got a ball handle on it, so it'd be like a push knife, but it's actually balanced to be a throwing knife. And the way that it's cut, it would do
It's got 3 edges.
horrifying damage. Yeah, just
So,
basically like a stabbing shotgun kind of a thing.
so I would ask Spencer, do you have any recollection of the knife that attacked you?
Knife that attacked me. Oh no, no. The only thing I saw was a flash of metal. It's flying at me, and before I flung myself from the cab, I did not get a good look at it.
Good. Hey, go with me for just a minute. Just could you shut your eyes and just? I know it's very traumatic to you what
No.
happened, but
No, I understand.
see if you could possibly separate yourself from the actual act of being stabbed. And at the point, whenever you saw the knife, was there anything that sticks in your mind about that you may have overlooked when you were talking to us earlier?
Oh, I'll try to employ some of the techniques I learned when I interviewed a Swami in New York one time. Let me see here. He starts humming, clearing his mind, trying to think if he can remember what the knife looked like. Idea roll?
Sure.
No, I'm sorry. I was too terrified to make any coherent thought at that time.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I understand that you're.
Or I've not learned the techniques either from memory recall.
What you went through.
That was an excellent idea. Thank you, James.
You were not wounded in your. I'm just trying to remember all this because it's getting complicated. So you weren't wounded at all. They just tried to stab you, correct?
Oh no! The only wound I suffered is when I collided with the newsstand after flinging myself away.
That's what I thought. Great. I'm happy about that.
Well, relative values of great, I say, and kind of like rub my shoulder a bit.
So when we found the man that was murdered, did any of us pay attention to the marks on his body? How they were
On the train?
The one where the knife was that we threw the knife away.
Oh no! I took one look in the room and ran.
Okay. Did you examine him, Ruben?
Say again?
Did you examine the man where we threw the knife away?
Have the police left already?
They were getting ready to leave if they hadn't left already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope we'd not be discussing this in front of them.
No, they left. They left.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If you're asking if he examined the guy with no eyes, he did the best he could. And if we're talking about the disgusting burned or gross body of Jeremiah, he did it a very casual. He didn't dig through the corpse or anything.
About the one that was stabbed, if you saw the wounds on him or not.
Oh yeah, we noted that it was more likely the plunge dagger because of the way it cut in.
Okay, so
and the dagger was laying next to him.
And there was a particular way that it cut him. when they were stabbed? I mean, so
I
far
do
as
believe we noted it was a triangular
okay,
blade, so it does three
that's
edge cuts.
that's where I'd like to ask the inspector if he has information on that yet or not.
And when he does, Biggie Boy goes out.
Just ask him casually what kind of knife they think it was, what kind of knife wounds it was.
And Namdek was no help, right? He didn't recognize it other than just being, a dagger, an interesting dagger. It wasn't
Nope, he didn't know anything about it.
yeah. I wonder if I mean, thuggy are a thing now, so I wonder if there maybe is. That seems like a kind of a thuggy weapon, doesn't it?
Doorbell rings.
It's a thuggy. He goes to the door with a shotgun in hand, looks through the peephole.
I
You
follow.
see a man standing there holding bread and milk.
Mr. Gray, if you'll get the door, he'll step back and have the shotgun ready.
Okay, he opens the door.
Kind of an older man, pudgy, common clothes, comes in. Yeah, delivery. Is Markham here?
No, I'm sorry, Markham is out for the day. I'm filling in for him.
Oh, here you go, sir. And he hands you the bread and milk.
And he takes that and he gives him a few shillings.
Oh, thank you, sir. And he turns and leaves.
He closes the door and bolts it again. And heads into the kitchen.
Okay.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been here for quite a while, and a lot of times we're here during the morning or during the day. Do we, or is it common for them to be coming to the door this frequently?
Yeah. Yeah, the door
Okay.
rings a lot during the day for
Okay.
deliveries and things of that sort. Yeah. Also, you get, calls from various customers as well frequently
Sure.
throughout the day. Minor shit.
Well, we have lunch prepared, so I guess we'll do the lunch thing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't need to act it out. I was just saying it.
Yep, no problem. You make
Because I
lunch.
know they were talking about doing other stuff.
You make lunch. Yep. Do you have any cooking?
I don't think he has anything special. Let me see.
What would that be? An art, I think.
Yeah, it would be under art. That would be something that I would take, but I did not take it for Ruben.
Okay, so
I think
what's the base for art?
5.
Roll it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
How about before we roll it, that he would have realized that this is a sort of skill that's like his psychoanalyst or his charm, and he would have shot for something on a low range.
Okay, roll
So
with a bonus die.
yeah, that's gonna say. Just looking for toast and such. Here we go.
Mhm.
All right. The two 10-sided dice, one being a 2, the other being a 6. I will take the 2, and it's still a fail.
Mhm.
It's a 21.
Okay. Yeah. Toast is kind of burnt around the edges. Can't quite. The butter doesn't spread so good because it's kind of soft in the middle still. But
Of course.
so you guys are having toast for lunch apparently,
Well,
and maybe some leftover eel.
Marmalade.
Yeah, I'll just have some of the leftovers from yesterday, and then I'm going to go to my room and put the obituary I wrote into a leather folder and into a like a briefcase. And
Mm-hmm.
is Stafford still here?
Oh,
Of course he is.
no.
He is. I would like to go and visit with with Loyal's brother.
Oh,
Is
Abel Gibbs?
Stafford? Indeed. Will Stafford be needed anytime soon by any of you?
No.
Indeed.
No. Is anybody staying behind? Is what's his name? The partner there, Chamberlain. Hold on. Get my names. Chamberlain, Mr. Chamberlain, Mr. James Chamberlain. Are you staying today?
well, I was thinking about going to the library and trying to find out about the dagger since you had some interest in it. And shape of it, what it may be used for.
I'm sure we could drop. We can have drop you along the way.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, you
All
drop
right,
him off at
Mr.
the
Gray.
library.
Yeah, I'm sending Mr. Gray out then
Where you sending Mr. Gray to?
to secure food for the evening because obviously he's not up to cooking dinner for the guests.
Okay.
Sure, I can.
The doorbell
Uh,
rings.
Of
course.
it does.
There are two men standing outside, both with deliveries.
What do they look like?
They look like delivery men.
What are we delivering?
Oh,
A piano?
what are they carrying? Sorry, apologies. Let's see. One guy has fish, and the other guy has meat. Probably what meat would he have? Probably some chicken. Maybe some beef.
All right, Mr. Gray, and he will take a step back and be ready with the shotgun.
Perhaps you should send a message to what's her name, the lady,
Mrs. Levi.
Mrs. Levi, and see if she could make a special visit to cook for us.
It's her one. It's her one day off, and she's going to be upset
No.
about.
She only works 3 days a week with you guys.
Well,
She
all
only
right.
works Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Unfortunately,
Fair
today's
enough.
Tuesday.
So, yeah, well, we'll send Mr. Gray out to her then. And if that doesn't work out, then we'll go for other food options. Good call.
I could bring food to this Mrs. Levi and bring back something to eat. Perhaps.
No. Miss Levi's our regular lady. She'll come here and cook.
Oh, okay.
So what are you gonna do? You gotta ask her to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let her know that Markham had to leave suddenly, and
You offer an extra day's pay
of course.
or time and a half
Sure.
to come in on her day off. Make it worth her while. Yeah, she'll come anyway. So you're sending Mr. Gray to get her?
After we deal with the delivery, is it just a regular delivery, or they try to stab us?
No, they don't try to stab you. It's just delivery, man. Relax. Markham would normally do this shit, but he's not there.
I realize this, but I'm waiting for you to sneak one in, so I'm just ready.
Don't accuse me of being sneaky.
No, perish the thought.
I thought
And then
afterwards so
afterwards,
far.
Afterwards we
I've been
will
attempting to be blunt.
We'll send Mr. Gray with a Hudson and Brand card with the handwritten note.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That holiday pay is in order. We have dinner guests coming. Markham had to suddenly take his leave for the day, and if she could please make her way to the house to prepare, and if not, then let me know so I could make other arrangements.
Okay, no problem. It's still morning. Sure, no problem. So you hail a cab and go do that.
Or do we have the guy still here?
No, they left.
And he's not there. Different guy.
All right, I will hail a cab and I will make sure it looks legitimate.
Okay, give me a percentile roll, please.
72.
Yep, it's O'Reilly cab number 92, Lambeth.
Okay, I give him the address. I step in. I look inside.
There's nobody inside.
All right, and I climb in.
Okay, and where are you headed? To Miss Levi's house, of course. Gonna hand deliver the invitation or the request. No problem. Yep, you go there. Do you want him to wait for you?
Oh yes, please.
No problem. Happily to do so. So it's a return trip. Mrs. Levi sees the invitation. She says, "Yes, just give me maybe 5-10 minutes."
Sure, not a problem.
She goes inside and takes care of a few things, and then she comes back out and gets in the cab with you. And the O'Reilly cab 92 drives you back to 33 Golden Square. You're back there well before noon. Oh wait, no, you already made lunch. Apologies. You'd be back there well before dinner anyway, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon maybe. So, who's next? Let's see. Ruben, you're staying there anyway until she gets back.
Right.
You go to the library, James, And you want to try to research these knives and stuff again, yeah? Is that right, Rob?
That was his plan.
All right, we can have him roll later when he's back.
Yeah, I
and-
was muted. I
Oh
tried
yeah.
to get to the microphone. So
Okay.
that's the plan.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a library use roll.
Okay. 100. Now, I think I failed that, but I'll look for sure. Yeah, my character sheet now. Okay, library. Go down a little bit. Oh, there it is. 45. Yeah, so I missed.
Okay, you
Not good
missed
at
it.
all.
All right. All right. You spent a couple hours a day looking, trying to find information, but you're not finding anything like these. And Spencer, you then
Yeah,
go.
so I asked Stafford, does he know where Abel Gibbs lives?
I don't think so.
I'm sure we have an address.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah, you
told him the
definitely
address,
do.
but I did ask him along the way if we could stop by a florist
Okay.
so I can pick up an arrangement to bring with.
Sure. No problem.
I'll spend a rather good dime on that,
Very good.
or shilling as they say here with their weird money.
Right. Have you already written the obituary?
Yes, that's
Okay.
why I was doing.
He rolled like a 7.
That's way
6, I
better,
think. Yeah.
John. Yeah, I rolled a 6.
Oh,
Okay. No problem.
Which is, and I have 15 for my extreme success range.
Your shoulder is still sore, of course.
Yep.
But yeah. So you get a really nice bouquet. Very respectful. Let's see. Loyal was killed yesterday, right? So when will the funeral be? Probably tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah. Okay. So yeah, you go to Abel. Where did Abel Gibbs live again? Paul, do you remember?
Flophouse.
Oh,
No,
that
he
was
didn't.
That was Loyal.
That was
Sorry,
Loyal.
what was?
Your brother, or Loyal's brother, where did he live? Do we
Um,
remember?
I don't think we specifically said, but let
All
me
right.
see my
He
notes.
had a nice little house anyway with his
Oh,
wife.
yeah,
and
he's doing well. He's well off there.
yeah.
With the wife that would make the extra food for him.
Yeah. And how many kids do they have? They just had a baby girl.
Yeah, 2 children, a small boy and a baby girl. He's with. Yeah, I don't even put down which area he was working in, so I don't have a
That
location.
doesn't matter right now. Anyway, you go there. It's not far. It's probably not as nice a neighborhood as Soho, mind you, but it's a nice residential area.
Okay.
Yeah. Albert pulls up, stops.
All right. I don't imagine I'll be too long, Albert, if you wouldn't mind waiting for me.
Oh, I wouldn't think of doing otherwise, sir.
Be on the lookout for unmarked cabs, blind men, and gingerbeard cabbies.
Very well, sir.
Things are not going well right now. Thank you. I'll be but a moment. And I'll walk up to the door and tap, tap. Use the knocker. I imagine they have one. Or do they have a bell or something? I guess I'll ring the bell.
They probably have a knocker.
All right. I'll use the knocker.
Okay.
I'll knock on the door, whatever it takes. I'll announce my presence.
And Abel will answer the door. He's a pretty big man himself. He's over 6 foot tall. He's pretty
Good Lord.
well built. But he's nowhere near as big as his brother, of course.
Right.
In fact, I think Loyal was adopted. Is that right?
No, they're
No, they are.
both
They're
yeah.
blood brothers. Okay, cool. I remember.
Technically, his brother was adopted after when their parents passed away. Loyal was older, so nobody wanted him.
Oh, that's right. Okay, gotcha. Right. Fair enough. Yeah, so he's a big, beefy guy. He's well off in the police. He says, "May I help you, sir?"
Good morning, Mr. Gibbs. My name is Spencer Tillman. I was an acquaintance of your brother, and I wanted to come by and pay my respects. And he hands him the bouquet, and I wanted to do something for him as well. I wrote something up for the paper, and I wanted to show it to you first before I think of submitting it to see whether it would have your approval.
Sure. Well, come on in. Come on in.
Thank you, sir. Well, go what in?
So yeah, the wife will take the boy into another room or something, so they're not disturbing you. You hear a baby crying upstairs.
Okay.
But yeah, he brings you into the kitchen probably area.
Sure.
Offers you some tea, maybe some I don't know, biscuits or something.
Sure. After the food we just ate, any kind of food is welcome. Thank you very much. And I'll put the case down and pull out the folder and hand it over to him. With the
Okay.
obituary in there.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, how did you're so detailed. You must have known him better than I thought.
I've known him for a few months since I've been working with the agency, and he was mentioned numerous times in their case notes. I gathered whatever information I could, and I've been writing for a long time. So I put all my skill into it.
Do you have any idea who would have killed my brother?
And I know he's an officer. Indeed, we do. And Inspectors Cleveland and Craig are on the case. It appears there's some sort of ring of assassins that we've become involved with. And I myself was attacked yesterday. I barely was able to escape. Luckily, that attack occurred in a very public area.
And
but yes,
give me a psychology roll.
Mm-hmm. No, I rolled a 94.
Okay, he's just real quiet, and he's sipping his tea.
Sure, I'm not going to use my normal la 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 and all the super flowery words, and I'll just give him the basic details as we explained it to the police.
Okay. Well, I hope that Detectives Cleveland and Craig will get to the bottom of this, and justice will be brought to the assailant.
Indeed. And we are also continuing our investigation as well. Perhaps we will, if the police don't find them, perhaps we shall, and we'll be able to bring them to justice for yourself and your brother.
I hope that someone does, he says. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Tillman?
No, do I have your permission to submit this to the paper for your brother?
Yes, it's perfect.
All right, then I will leave you to your grief, and please accept my sincerest condolences on his passing. He was an amazing person, and I just wanted the rest of London to know that as well. I say it a little choked.
Okay. Yep, he'll show you out.
All right, and then put my hat back on, and then tip it to him, and then get into the cab and tell Stafford I'd like to go to the London Times.
Okay. Excellent.
And it's the blind man in there. He stabbed you 19 times.
No, there's nobody in the cab.
Dodge!
That many, 18 to take out Loyal.
Takes you to the London Times, no problem.
Yeah, and I'll show up. I'll announce myself, give him a card, and say I'd like to speak with the editor of obituaries.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can take care of all that, no problem. No rolls necessary. You already rolled a great job on writing it.
Right.
And you are a respected writer in America as well, and your name is starting to spread in Britain. So, yeah, they're happy to accept the piece. And actually, give me what would it be? Give me a credit rating roll.
All right, come on, no more crappy rolls. I rolled a 45 under 60.
Okay. Yeah. You leave a card.
Yep.
Very good. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, and we will be in touch.
Thank you very much. Good day to you, sir.
Hmm.
And we'll head back to the agency or swing by the library and see if well, it hasn't been taking that long. I guess I'll head home and then I don't know. I guess yeah, I'll head home.
Okay. By that
It's too
time,
early to stop by the library and pick up James.
time, Mrs. Levi has arrived in time to save dinner. You've had several more deliveries, including brandy and cigars. And give me a luck roll, Ruben.
Stand by to stand by. Rolling. Ooh, that might have been a failed. Hold on. That's a 60. And his luck currently is a 43. That's a fail.
A fail?
Yeah.
There is a massive delivery that arrives. I think you're the
course.
only person in the house. Yes, you are. It's huge, and there's like a big. It's brought in on a. It has to be brought in on like a.
You're mumbling.
The carriage version of a truck, anyway.
Right.
With multiple men to help unload it. And he comes up to you just first with basically like a manifest or whatever.
Yes.
It's from, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's a gun company in America. And you look at it, it's addressed to Wilhelm von Zorn.
Okay. Do the cases look like gun cases? And there
Yes.
wouldn't be like large enough to hide people, would it?
Much larger. They could hide many people. Well, yeah, definitely. Multiple people. I would say the biggest case, this is probably all boarded up or whatever, but you could probably fit 6 people in there. And the other one, you could definitely fit a few more.
Okay, well, I will offer refreshments and appropriate payment if they would disassemble on the spot so that we don't need to take the crates apart so we can take the items out.
Well, where do you want the items delivered to, sir? Oh, do you want to see what it is? I guess you read the manifest.
Exactly. Yeah. Break them up outside and then
it
bring them in.
It is like it's an American Gatling gun. With belt-fed ammo.
Gotcha.
I think it was belt-fed. Yeah, it was belt-fed. One of the kind of ones that you crank the wheel like they used in the Civil War.
I think that were they Vickers? Were they called Vicker guns?
I can't remember what they were called.
Vickers were the British ones. Okay, yeah, okay, very good.
It's like a military grade ammunition, ammo, armament, I should say.
Sure. But dark one gun. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So where would you like them to put it?
Well, while they're disassembling it, he's going to get an eye for them if they give them any sideways glances, if they happen to have triangular daggers, if they have no eyeballs.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
Spot hidden roll coming up. The ubiquitous 6. I don't even need to look it up.
Okay, yeah. No, none of them are assassin-like. None of them are blind. None of them have daggers. They're just workmen. They're probably
shooting range.
Honestly, they're probably like dock warehouse.
I guess we're going to set it up in the parlor there. I guess it's going to be a conversation.
In the parlor?
Piece.
Hold on.
Whatever the foyer, whatever we got, wherever we can set it initially in there without them digging through the house.
Let me look at this here in a larger view. Okay, the parlor. You do have that big carpeted area over there in front of the fireplace. You could move that chair that sits at that little desk on the window, or just tuck it in. You could set it up right there.
Yep.
Right beside the two sitting, nice chairs and the sofa.
Sure.
Okay, sure. So they'll bring it in. It takes a while. It takes probably an hour and a half almost for them to bring it in and then to unload it, to break down the crates and bring everything back out. They accept some refreshment, no brandies.
No brandies. Although I was considering a shot of gin on the way out.
Tea or coffee would probably be welcome.
Sure.
Do you offer him a shot of gin on the way out?
On the way out, yeah.
What personal skill do you want to roll?
Oh, Jesus.
Charm?
Intimidation.
Intimidation. Drink
Better
this gin.
drink or
Take the goddamn drink, you bastards.
I'm just giving you a chance to improve one of your skills. Come on.
All right, fine. Let me see which ones I'm not terrible at.
I think this would be charm.
Sure, why not?
Unless you want to try to persuade them. Come on, your shift's going to be ending in a couple of hours. Only one of you has to drive the carriage or the truck.
No, he's going to try charm. Hey, do they happen to be speaking any odd languages?
No, they're just Englishmen. They're dock workers, warehouse workers, etc.
Okay, well, here we go with the charm. Although I just blew my 6, so I have no grand hopes. Actually, 19 isn't so bad. Let me see here. 19 is not a 15, so I did not make it. And if I spend the 4, then I don't get the credit for it, correct?
Okay, no, so it doesn't matter. But that's fine. They still accept the gin anyway. And thank you. They each take a small glass, like a shot, probably, basically.
Sure. Cheers.
Yeah. And then they go on their way. And you now have a, Civil War era, although this is a more recently made. This is a customized 1890. Let me think. It was made in 1891.
Very good.
Gatling gun in your parlor.
And the conversations
did you want them to
will
uncrate
follow?
the ammunition as well, or did you leave the ammunition in a box?
No, the ammunition's there. That's part of the conversation piece.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
So
it's a good thing this happened after the cops left.
Oh, yeah. And the conversation is going to go in the direction of all the times that this actually could have come in handy.
You maybe want to put it pointing the door.
Okay.
That's the general gist of it.
Then Glenn and Mrs. Levi will come in just as those guys are leaving. Yeah, Mrs. Levi will look at the gun, look at you, and then go to the kitchen. Glenn, you see the Gatling gun in the living room, or the parlor, sorry.
Oh, he goes over to it. He's interested in that.
Oh, yeah, it's really well made. Cost him 1891. I mean, it looks like it's never been fired.
Do I have knowledge on this one?
Give me a roll.
Idea or something else?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't really have like a heavy weapons skill, do you?
No, I don't have.
Just give me a mechanical engineering roll.
Engineering? No. This is well outside my... It's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, it looks lethal.
It should be. It's even more interesting when you take it into context that the big one hasn't even arrived yet.
You think you could kill an elephant with this thing easily? You could kill a small herd of elephants, maybe.
How about just a whole bunch of cultists? Why would you want to shoot an elephant?
I'm just saying, he hasn't met cultists yet.
So. Mr. Brand Carmichael, sir. What is that? A conversation piece, or do you expect trouble on that scale inside your office, your residence here?
This is for home defense. I'm going to go check on dinner.
Okay.
Very good, I guess.
Just for convenience sake, James and Spencer will both return around the same time. And unless you're going to stay at the library all day, James. Up to you, Rob. Spencer will definitely arrive anyway, home in the afternoon to see the Gatling gun in the parlor.
So when I'm waiting for dinner, I'm actually gonna go over to the library and find an interesting looking book.
Okay.
And read it, I guess. Cool. Is there any that might stand out? A quick peruse.
They don't have any cult, like any Cthulhu books in there or anything, if that's what you're talking about. No mythos tomes or anything of that sort.
No, I figure the good stuff is not kept there. This is just.
I don't know. They might have a copy of the Golden Bough.
Sure. Okay.
Which
I'll
is,
read that.
if I recall correctly, that's a Golden Dawn book, right? Right, John? No?
Say again? I was getting alerts from Facebook.
Oh, apologies. The Golden Bough, wasn't that a Golden Dawn book?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I'm going to guess you have a copy of that. Pretty sure you do.
Yeah.
What's that about? Just a rough.
You tell me, John. I don't fucking know, actually.
Just a topic, I guess.
It's a
For the
cult.
Golden Dawn. For the Golden
cult.
Dawn.
It's a cult.
Oh, it's a cult book.
Mhm.
Okay.
A cult,
Then yeah,
yeah.
I'll read that then.
Okay, cool. Yeah, actually, and James, I'm not sure if he'll be coming back or not. In the afternoon, we'll find out next time, I guess, because I think that's the end of this episode. Oh, and
Very
Loyal's
good.
funeral will be on Wednesday. What would that be? Monday was 6th, or Wednesday the 8th. But we're leaving off in the afternoon of the 7th, anyway, Tuesday.